friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasma, and today I'm talking about a subject that I've gotten plenty of questions about recently. How did I grow my quads? I'm so excited to share this information with you guys. I've kind of broken it down into 8 different sections to hopefully make things pretty clear cut. So first up, I train for both strength and hypertrophy. So free weight exercises such as barbell back squats and barbell front squats, I typically train for strength, which means I'll do about 5 or 6 sets of 1 to 6 reps. Now for hypertrophy, which you're probably most likely more interested in, and that's pretty much growing muscle size and getting the definition, I train about 3 to 4 sets and about 8 to 12 reps. Number 2, the exercises that I implement. I'm actually just going to read this off because I don't want to mess it up. These are the exercises that I typically include in my program. Barbell front squats, barbell back squats, step-ups, goblet squats, V-squats, hat squats, pendulum squats, single leg squats, Bulgarian split squats, walking lunges, reverse lunges, lateral lunges, front rack kettlebell squats, and leg extensions. And as you notice, I listed a lot of single leg exercises. I do include at least 1 quad dominant leg exercises per session. Number 3, I include different tempos in my program. So pretty much I don't just do regular reps. I also do eccentric reps. I do pause reps. I do drop sets. I do sets to failure. So just to give a little bit more detail, when we're talking about pause reps, I'm pretty much going to pause at the bottom of the squat and or lunge for just about a second or 2. Now drop sets and sets to failure, I don't train a lot. These are typically I do on my 3rd or 4th set. For drop sets, pretty much what you do, for example, if you're doing leg extensions, and let's say you're doing 150 for leg extensions. So you'll do as many reps as you can, and then as soon as you hit fatigue, you'll go ahead and move the weight down a percentage, and then you'll continue doing reps. And then you'll repeat the same thing until you are completely fatigued. This is exactly why I only do this on my last set, because there's no way I'm getting through 3 or 4 sets of drop sets. And then training to failure. I saw some of the biggest change in my quads once I started training to failure. I cannot tell you just how important that is. And again, this is not something I do every single set, but normally on my last set of certain exercises, I will push myself to where I had 0 reps left in me. And I also didn't break form though. So it's to the point where I was almost about to break form, but I didn't. Now that leads me to point number 4, which is I really push myself. So say for instance, your program says 8 to 12 reps or 8 to 10 reps, but you get to rep 10 and you realize you could have did 3 or 4 more reps. You're not really pushing yourself. And for hypertrophy, if you really want to grow your quads, then you want to push yourself. So that most likely meant I needed to go up in my weight. I'm not pushing myself, I'm not challenging myself enough. If my program says 8 to 10 for hypertrophy and I could do 15 reps at that weight, then obviously I'm not challenging myself. Training 8 to 12 reps only really works if you're going to push yourself. There's no point in doing 8 to 12 reps when you could have gone higher. I hope that makes sense. Number 5, progressive overload. So I make sure to increase either my weight, my reps, or my frequency over time gradually. And again, this just comes back to pushing myself, challenging myself. Over weeks and weeks of training with the same program, I should be able to see that there have been some type of improvements, whether it's with the amount of reps I'm doing, whether it's with the weight I'm doing, or the frequency that I'm training. Number 6, now this is all kind of grouped together, but recovery, rest, protein, and eating enough, including carbs and plus water. So you just want to make sure that you're trying to get as much sleep as possible, 7 hours they say. Also drinking enough water, getting your protein in is so important, especially if you want to put on muscle size, to have enough protein. Of course, carbs for energy, and just make sure you're eating enough. If you're under eating, it will be more difficult to put on that muscle mass. Number 7, we're almost done. I train 3 times a week full body. I don't specifically train for my quads. I train squat movement and I train split squat movement. In that, I'm going to be training my quads. On these full body training days, I do include 2 to 3 exercises that are quad dominant. An example of this would kind of be, I would start off with maybe back squats, going super heavy, and this is going to be for strength, followed by Bulgarian split squats, and I'll do 3 to 4 sets of those, again 8 to 12 reps, and then finishing off maybe with some leg extensions, with the last set being to failure. I wouldn't obviously do these back to back to back. Me personally, if it's a full body day, I'm going to split it up between upper body and lower body. I also do not train back-to-back days. Again, this goes back to recovery. I allow myself enough time to rest in between my sessions so that I can really push myself each and every session. And again, I typically do not do over 3 quad dominant exercises in a session because I don't really see it as beneficial. If you execute all 3 or 2 exercises like you're supposed to, then I feel like that's more than enough activation and more than enough work to get where you need to be. I mean, obviously it's true by my progress, but that's what works for me. You don't need 1,000 different exercises or 500 different exercises, which leads me to my final tip, or the final thing that I do, which is I follow a program. Have a really good program to follow. I stick to my programs for at least 8 weeks at a time, and then once I do switch to another program, it's very small changes. For example, I'll go from a barbell front squat to goblet squats, because that allows my body to kind of have a rest from lifting as much in the front squat position, but still train that exact same movement. Or maybe I'll go from Bulgarian split squats to walking lunges. And that's pretty much it. That's how I've been training for a while now. I've seen a huge change in my quads, the definition, my muscle mass. Like, they're really coming in, and I'm super proud of the work I've been putting in. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to leave them down in the comment section. And thank you guys so much for watching.